Welcome to KSR Datavizon YouTube channel. In this particular video, we'll see how to clean the data by using Power Query Editor. Now, on the screen, you're seeing a data set which is having a annual sales report that is coming from different product category or a product subcategory, and we have the 4 years of data. Now, this is a data set that is exported from a PDF. So in PDF, if you see, this is a PDF heading and this is a PDF data that has been exported. Now, I have brought this data into my Power BI and this is how it looks. Now, do you think you can really do a report in this? Not possible. Reason? Let's say I drag any column, chart or pie chart, whatever you feel, and you open this, you still don't know what column is what. You still don't know what column is what. As long as you go and see here, you will never get to know what is this. And in fact, this data is completely an uncleaned data. Now, let's say I've taken 2 copies of this. I've taken 2 copies, 2 Power BI. I've opened 2 Power BI desktop, and in the both I have taken 2 same data set. In the next 5 minutes, let's see how we can clean the data. Okay. Now, clearly observe, I'll go to Power Query Editor by clicking this transform data. The first thing you need to remember is, so always there is in the view tab, you have something about data preview. So initially all this will be unchecked. Okay, you can check this to know that what is the health of the column. So usually the preferred one, if you see, it should be like 100 0 0. So valid data should be 100%, error should be 0%, and empty also should be 0%. This is what one common validation that we do if your data is clean. So clearly from this validation in the view tab, we can see that 72028, 72028, 9406. So I can clearly say that the data is not clean. The data is not clean. Now let's go and clean the data. Okay. Now for time being, let me remove all this so that I'll get some enough space to do that. Now, the first thing is I need to remove the first 2 nulls. It's like simply an empty space. It's simply like an empty space, the first 2 null. Okay, let me go and remove that. Now, in order to remove that, I can simply cannot go and remove all the null because this also will get removed. Okay, but I don't want all this. There is something which I can do with this, right? So what I will do in the home tab, there is a concept of remove top rows, and I will give this, and how many rows I want to remove, maybe the top 2 rows. Let me give top 2 and I'll click OK. Now good. Okay, now if you clearly observe, the first row is a column name that has been put it as a maybe as a first row. Let's go and do one thing, use first row as header. Okay, now let's select this, use first row as header. Now the first row has been turned to column name. Okay, now this is product category, this is product subcategory, this is UPC, and this is 2011, 12, 13, 14, and a grand total. Now if you clearly observe, UPC is like a barcode. Okay, similar to a barcode. Every product will be having some code. Okay, I don't think this will be very useful. You cannot go and add this. No one will ask what is a total sum of UPC per product. No, it's a barcode. I don't need this. Remove it. Okay, now you have product category, you have product subcategory, 2011, 12, 13, 14. And if you clearly observe, 2011 174 plus 11,000 plus 62,000 plus 78, adding all this, you are getting a grand total. Think and tell me, do you really require grand total? No. When you can have all the 4 years data, why you need grand total? Either you keep it grand total or you keep it this 4 columns, your wish. But what I will do, I will don't keep grand total because I will not get to know which year how much sale has happened. So let me remove the grand total and let's keep this. Now, one more thing, if you observe, this is audio. Within the audio, you have Bluetooth, MP3 player, recording pen, whatever it is. And again, you are having something called audio total. That means it is also taking a row subgroup. With respect to a subgroup, it is also taking a total. So 174 plus 2900 plus 441, again you'll get 3500. And if you take a overall sum of this column, there is high chance that it will be counted twice. One with the individual product, and along one more, it will be like a total product. So this seems to be like duplicating it. So what I'll do, I'll go here, I will remove all the totals from this: cell phone total, computer total, this, as well as TV total. So wherever the totals is there, I will remove it. Now there are different ways to do it. Okay, you can either filter out not ending with total, or does not contain total. Anything you can do. Okay, so let me go with okay. Now if you see, again there is one thing I missed it, that is a grand total. Let me go and uncheck the grand total as well. Yeah, now if you see, every row the count is like for every product. For Bluetooth, this is a sales. For MP3, this is a sales. For recording pen, this is a sales. And now practically seeing the data set, this also should be audio, this also should be audio, and this will be cell phone, cell phone, cell phone. In the cell phone you have cell phone and accessories. In the cell phone you have home and office phones. In the cell phone you have smartphones. In the cell phones you have touchpad. So whatever it is, it cannot be removed as such, but it has to be filled with audio, it has to be filled with camera, it has to filled with cell phone, it has to filled with computer. So what we can do, okay, we have a very good option in Power Query, that is fill. So if you just click this fill down, what will happen is whichever value is empty, it will fill with this value. And let's go and try this. If you see this, whichever add empty, that was been filled with the audio, unless and until there is a new change. Now again camera is there. Again you can see that this three were null. Okay, this three were null, this three were null, this were null. So unless and until it sees an other change, unless and until it sees an other change, it will start filling. That's what this fill down will do. Okay, very good. This is done, 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 this is done. Okay, now let's go to this view, check everything and check how the status of the data is. 100 0 0 100 0 0 100 0 0 100 0 0 100 0 0 100 0 0. Very good. Now one more thing we need to do is, if someone is asking what is a total sales of each product, you cannot add this plus this plus this plus this. It's not possible, right? What if you add everything into one column along with the year? Okay, let's say rather than having 2021, 2022, 2023, okay, let's say $100, let's say $200, let's say $300. Let's take this as an example. Rather than having this, okay, why can't we prefer like this? Year, sales. So 2021, 2022, 2023. Now this becomes 100, this becomes 299, this becomes 300. Now just observe how this looks. So the most preferred one will be this, because it's easy to take the sum. Usually in SQL or maybe in Power BI, everything we try to calculate row by row rather than column by column. So this is very difficult for calculation, but if you see, our data is in this format. Our data is in this format. So for that, we still have one more option. What we can do is, you can select all the columns, whichever is like this. You can right click it and you can go and check this unpivot only selected columns. I have selected this 4 columns. I will go and select unpivot only selected columns. Now if you see, it has turned into an attribute and value. Now you can go and rename this. This becomes sales, this becomes year. Now if someone is asking, okay, can you get me all 2011 sales? Don't worry, apply a filter, you get all the 2011 sales. Let's say someone is asking 2013 sales. Let's say you get 2013. This is very easy for analysis. So it can be turned like this. There is a concept called pivot and unpivot. Okay. So what we have done is we have turned from a column to a row level. That's the concept of unpivoting. That's the concept of unpivoting. Now I will go and see the data. I've done all the data cleaning process. You can go and see the view where everything is 100 0 0 100 0 0. Let me go to home tab and let me close and apply. Now you see, maybe if you want, I can even rename this. I can rename this. This is let's say data. Now you observe 10 minutes back, this was a data set. This was a data set. Now you see how neat we have cleaned the data. And if you observe carefully, for the last 10 minutes, I have not even written a single line of code. Without even writing a single line of code, I am still able to clean the data. That is how powerful is your Power Query editor. Now you can go and do any of the charts. Let's say I select this chart. You see here, with respect to product category, I need sales. See, computers is contributing to more sales. See, do you think this type of analysis, which is coming from the cleaned data, I was able to do in this? Never. I didn't even know what to add. That's how this data was. This data was an uncleaned data, and with using my Power BI skill, that I would say Power Query Editor, I have cleaned the data, and in fact this is a cleanest data ever now, which follows that 100-0-0 rule, which I can go and do all my analysis. Start getting used to Power Query Editor. This is very interesting, as well as you can play with the data. Thank you all for watching this video. We'll again be back with a few more videos. Please subscribe our channel if you have not subscribed. Thank you.